Welcome on behalf of Associated Builders and Contractors of Western Washington's Professional Development Council, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Jared Malone, Membership Development Manager here at ABC, and I would love to chat with you more about the many benefits of your membership. In the meantime, please enjoy this retention and morale presentation by ABC member Audrey Rosenfeld with Fully Effective Employees.
Hi, my name is Audrey Rosenfeld, and I'm the owner of Fully Effective Employees. We're a local and regional employee assistance program, and we specialize in working with clients with employees ranging in a size from 3 to 3,000 employees. And we work a lot in the construction industry. So today I'm going to talk with you about how you can increase morale and retention in your companies. We all know that it is much more cost effective to keep and retain good employees or help employees continue to be good performers than it is to have to recruit and retrain and rehire new employees. So I'm going to give you an overview of what we're going to talk about today. First of all, I want to cover what stresses are in the industry and why morale is so important. We're going to go over 7 key tips that I have to help you recruit, retain, and keep good employees and prevent poor morale. Number 1 is safety. Number 2 is offering an open door policy. 3, expressing your appreciation. 4, providing the right tools. 5, offering opportunities for advancement. 6, which also goes along with the open door policy, and that's good communication. And finally, benefits. So what is morale and why is it important? Well, we know that happy employees are more productive and loyal. Your employees are your most expensive asset when we look at things like payroll, the benefits that you provide, and payroll taxes. But they're also your most valuable asset. If you don't have good employees, you're going to have complaints from customers. And if you don't have enough skilled and experienced employees, you won't be able to perform your jobs or even be able to bid on jobs if you don't have the manpower to perform. Research shows that pay is often not the most important factor in why employees remain with their employers. There are many stressors that impact the construction industry that are often very unique to this trade. We have challenging weather, and we know that it's not fun to work in the Seattle winters with the rain and the cold, as well as the hot summers. There's a high incidence of turnover within this industry, and there's oftentimes conflicts between foremen and coworkers or supervisors. Construction has a reputation of having work instability. During COVID, we had layoffs and furloughs, and people didn't know when and how they were going to get back to work. And then afterwards, the industry's been very busy, and people have had to work overtime and not knowing when they're going to have the next furlough or layoff. So that provides a lot of instability and uncertainty. There are many safety concerns within construction and a higher incidence of injuries and even fatalities. Construction requires long hours. Often, if you have to work overtime, you may not see your family for long hours, and the need to travel to job sites away from family and support systems. In 2008 to 2012, the construction industry had the second highest rate of heavy alcohol use among full-time workers, and it had the second highest percentage of employees with substance use disorder. And while these statistics are not new, what I have been finding with the clients I work with is that we are still finding a very high incidence of drug and alcohol use within this industry. And unfortunately, suicide is 4 times greater than the national average within the construction trade. The best ways to increase employee morale and reduce turnover. Number 1 is safety, a really big issue. Obviously, you want to ensure that you have a good safety policy and that your job site is safe. When safety is a priority from the top down, it will be for your team as well. So if employees see that management and supervisors are not practicing safety measures, they are not going to feel safe and they will follow suit. When they see coworkers get hurt on the job, they may feel unsafe and decide that they want to look elsewhere. Often when there are accidents and injuries at work, employees become very angry at their employers. You also want to be sure that not only do you have a good safety policy, but that you consider having a drug testing policy. As an EAP counselor, we have seen over and over again that the companies that have good drug and alcohol policies have a safer workplace. And what happens is the companies that don't drug test get a reputation. And so the drug users know that they can go to the company that doesn't test. And that will be a very unsafe workplace. When employees come to work under the influence of alcohol and drugs, they are much more at risk of creating accidents because their judgment may be impaired. And also, we believe that mental health is just as important as physical health and an important part of your safety policy. So recognizing that employees may have emotional difficulties, they may be stressed, depressed, anxious, perhaps their wife left them the night before, and they may be bringing this to work. And so we want to make sure that you're looking out for employees and letting them know that your mental health is just as important as physical health. And clearly, we also want to make sure that employees aren't coming to work with COVID symptoms or the flu or any other illness that could affect their ability to perform. The second idea is to have an open door policy. And by this, I mean you really need to mean that you have an open door policy, not just say it. So that management and company owners need to give employees the opportunity to voice their concerns, share ideas, ask questions, and ask for help in a constructive way. And it's teaching supervisors to really listen when employees have suggestions or concerns rather than being defensive. Sometimes employees feel very supported by their employer, even if they're just allowed to vent or they're being heard. Some ways that you can ask for suggestions and feedback from employees is things like offering feedback surveys, having a suggestion box or questionnaires, and then maybe providing an incentive to employees for responding to these surveys by providing gifts, small gift cards or coffee cards when people respond. And then it's really important to take some action to address people's concerns rather than just ignoring them, because then again, then they don't feel heard. Number 3, express your appreciation. A person who feels appreciated will always do more than is expected. So it's important to find ways to recognize both individual and team accomplishments. Oftentimes employees will say, no one appreciates me here, or no one listens, or I work so hard and no one acknowledges me. So sometimes it's really just the words that you use. And you could provide individual rewards for being proactive about safety by things like acknowledging perfect attendance, offering the opportunity for someone to mentor someone else, or to give them the option to take on a leadership role. And then you could do things like monthly meetings or team huddles, weekly meetings, and just announcing somebody who's taken on something special or done something that goes above and beyond. Some people will do plaques, Employee of the Month plaques, or highlight them in a newsletter, or give them a reward, like a gift card, a day off, giving them extra company swag, maybe a small cash reward. And we can't do this now during COVID, but one of the other ways to express appreciation is to do company-wide events, things like picnics, potlucks, even doing fundraising challenges with rewards for bringing in the most money, volunteering like at Habitat for Humanity, or even things like golf tournaments and Mariners games, giving employees something so that they know that they're appreciated and they feel a part of the community as a good employee. Number 4, provide the right tools. It's really important not to scrimp on tools, equipment, or materials if you want a quality product that your crew can be proud of. And you also want to invest in technology and software to improve your project management abilities. So if employees don't feel that they have the right tools to get the job done, they may well look elsewhere. I also think it's a good idea to invest in promoting your company in a positive light with great marketing campaigns, a good mission statement, and that makes your workplace a really good place for employees to be proud to represent. For example, we all know certain companies that have slogans, and we hear those in our head and we remember those commercials. So those are ways that employees can feel proud to say they work for that company. Number 5, offer the opportunity for advancement. When employees feel that they're just going to a job for a paycheck, and they don't have any investment in their career or in the company they work, and if they get a better offer somewhere else, they may be more likely to leave. But if they really feel that they're in a career, that they're proud to work for your company, and they have the opportunity to advance, they're going to be long-term employees. So some of the options that you can do is provide in-house trainings, maybe tuition reimbursement, so that somebody could go to a community college or part of a trade school and expand their skills, and maybe you would reimburse them for some of that. And then by offering them the incentive that if they do continue their education, knowing what their path might be for advancement, so they feel good about beginning to grow within your company. And also mentorship programs are a great way to teach employees not only new skills, but also how to cross-train so that they feel like they're more of a valued member of your team. And number 6, good communication. So good communication kind of follows the open door policy, but communication is really key in a company. And if there's miscommunication or a lack of communication, this can create rumors, mistrust, and poor morale. For example, if you think that a shutdown might be imminent in your company due to COVID-19, and you may not have all the information, sometimes it's good just to send out a text message to everybody or an email and letting people know this might be happening and we'll keep you informed as we know. It really is a big issue when there's layoffs and when there becomes rumors and gossiping and rumbling about we may all get shut down or we might be laid off. People get angry and anxious and they might even leave and there might not even be a layoff. So it's really important that if you hear about rumors that you correct them immediately and provide as much communication as you can. Communication is also really important when you're on the job. It provides a vital role in ensuring that projects run smoothly and safely, and that people have really clear ideas about what their expectations are, what the goals are, and how they're supposed to complete a project. I also like to use the phrase, see something, say something. And I think that it's a very important communication tool in any work environment so that the employer gives the message to employees that they are concerned about them, and then if they see a coworker that is concerned about somebody's situation, whether it's their emotional well-being or their mental health, that they know the resources, where to go to get help, and how to find somebody within the company to seek help for that individual. We also think that it's very important to have a good sexual harassment and bullying policy, and that people know where to go to communicate those concerns. And potential violence is often a big issue in the construction industry, and oftentimes people don't take threats seriously. So a good potential violence policy that is communicated amongst everybody on your team, things like not having a weapon at the workplace or in a company vehicle, can protect people and make them feel safer, and it's a clearly communicated policy. We've all watched the news where there's been workplace violence incidents and somebody will say, I always knew that person was dangerous, or that person was making threats, but I didn't take them seriously. When you communicate what's expected in your company, everybody is going to feel safer and they're going to feel clear about what the expectations are. And I think I've saved the best tip for last, and that's benefits, because that's something that we offer. Benefits are very important. And so, as I mentioned earlier, people don't usually leave just for salary. They usually leave for getting a better opportunity for growth, for advancement, for appreciation and acknowledgement, but often benefits, and often benefits are worth more than money. So assessing your health insurance plan and looking at providing a program that provides either low deductibles or a health savings account, and if you're able, if you can make a contribution on the employee's behalf to a health savings account, that can be very helpful. Particularly now with COVID, when families are struggling to manage childcare and provide support for their kids while they're homeschooling, some employers have added additional funds to help them with childcare. Our EAP program offers a wealth of information, including work-life programs, health risk assessments, resources, referrals, and discounts for things like gym memberships and shopping programs, which can be added perks for employees. There are also other companies that do things like health advocacy. So if you have a very high deductible on your insurance plan, these programs can help individuals find lower cost medical care before they reach their deductible and help them manage or negotiate high insurance and signs that are medical claims. And then there's also incentives available to help reduce health insurance premiums. So sometimes having a drug testing program or having employees complete wellness surveys can also reduce the cost of their health insurance. Some companies also provide wellness programs. They may provide health risk assessments and tips and tools for staying healthy. Some companies will provide on-site weight loss meetings. They may have weight loss challenge or exercise challenges and things like take the stairs and posted for people to take good care and be healthy. Also, you could offer smoking cessation programs and maybe incentives if people complete the program or stay smoke-free for a period of time. Another area that's really helpful for people is generous paid time off policies. Some companies are extending their PTO policies now because people can't really vacation during COVID, so they're allowing them to carry over their policies, or they're allowing to use the policy or increasing it, especially if they become sick with COVID or have to take care of a family member who has COVID. And I think a fabulous benefit that all employers should have, regardless of their size, is a good employee assistance program. So my program, like many others, provides assessments, referrals, access to counselors 24/7. We provide brief counseling for problem resolution. And then if clients need ongoing counseling, we make those referrals. We do case management and follow-up to make sure that those referrals are appropriate and that our clients are getting the help that they need. We also do a lot of work with companies that drug test. So we do assessments and referrals and making sure that people get into treatment if they need it, and then following up with them to make sure that they stay clean and sober so they can keep their job. We provide free confidential assistance for work and personal problems, and offering management consultations, helping supervisors, company owners, and managers know how to deal with employees when they may have a personal problem, or if that personal problem begins to impact their work performance. The earlier that a manager or supervisor can recognize when an employee is struggling, the easier it will be for that person to resolve their issues. And that's a really, really critical tool in retaining employees and increasing their loyalty to the company, is when they feel that their employer cares enough about them to provide a service where they can get free confidential help and be able to recognize when they're struggling so that they don't end up leaving or being terminated because there has been no intervention. And finally, there are high risks of accidents and injuries, as I mentioned, in the construction industry. And so critical incident debriefing is a very big part of what we offer. So that if there's a serious accident or injury at work, we want employees to feel safe and have an opportunity to process their thoughts and feelings to what they witnessed. And we've had a lot of feedback when we've gone on site and done this, that employees feel very supported by their employer when they've had an opportunity to talk about what they saw and witnessed, rather than being angry and venting or wanting to leave because they don't feel safe. And it really helps employees feel like they can go back to work, and gives them some tools by having what they witnessed and experienced normalized and having an opportunity to process it. So finally, COVID. We can't end this presentation without talking about COVID, because all of this that we've talked about is even more important now when employees are struggling. So prior to COVID, employees were dealing with depression, stress, anxiety, relationship issues, family problems, financial worries, and drug and alcohol problems. And we know that 10 to 15% of any given workforce at any time is dealing with a substance abuse issue or that of a family member. And another 10 to 15% of employees are dealing with the problems I just mentioned. So employees need a confidential place to talk about their concerns with the increasing stress due to COVID. And those stresses are huge. We're talking about things like working from home, spouses being out of work, parents needing to homeschool when they're not equipped, inability to see family members, the loss of attending family celebrations and milestones, and it's really mounting, funerals, weddings, graduations, celebrations, and being near loved ones when they're ill, not to mention the holidays. People have the fear of getting sick. They may be struggling with COVID themselves or worrying about family members with COVID. And all of this has created a profound increase in depression, suicide, domestic violence, child abuse, marital problems, family issues, financial issues, substance misuse, and more. So now is the time to really retain your employees, let them know that you care, be available to help them address these issues. So if you have any further questions about how you can offer an employee assistance program for your company, please feel free to contact me at this number or email me, and I can make a copy of my slides available as well. And if you would like to get a password to our website, I can walk you through some of the other resources that I mentioned that can be very helpful to employees, some of the perks and benefits that we can provide. So thank you all very much for your time, and I wish you well and stay safe.